It's got a little... Things went awry. Oh my God, Popeye. I was using the solar panel charger a little bit. Solar panel right in the sun. This light is kind of smooth there. Solar panel right in the sun, but everything else in the shade. I'm talking about. I ain't been doing my job. I ain't been puffing my corn, Kyle. Let's get into it. Let's do that. Let's start there. Yeah, I was like, putting a little time, a little effort. And I just got sleepy, man. That pizza probably put me to sleep. Maybe I should just went straight to just, gonna save myself some time and some money. Nah, that's a little hot. We need to shit down a little bit more. Ain't as windy or breezy as the last few days. Straight heat. It feels really comfortable though. We just play fetch a little bit. Just for a little bit. Stretch your legs out. I'm gonna talk about her bandana. I'm good with that. So now she has 2 bandanas. I need to get me some more bandanas. Dope ones though. Other than that, the only thing I gotta sit there and watch it and react to it. Get my 2 cents. You just got to. Fuck no. Keep marketing though. Don't give up on your dreams. You're gonna go through a couple no's and a couple rejections. It's just a test of your faith. Always remember that. So LeBron James goes on the Pat McAfee Cigars and Tobacco Only. I don't know who Pat McAfee is. I'm trying to watch a couple of this. I ain't even like the intro. Pat McAfee goes to introduce LeBron James on the podcast. As soon as I saw the intro, I was like, Shannon Sharp would have done a way better intro. Way better. What's going on? That's all that shit whack already. I just gotta put, it's only a 2. I saw the little Taylor Swift shit. I don't understand this Taylor Swift comment. Like, why would you mention her name? Why would you say her name? What's the reference? I don't get it. Then that's the part everybody's coming to watch the interview for. That little Taylor Swift comment. And of course, Stephen A. has already responded. Now, before I go to make this video, I want to watch the rest of this Pat McAfee shit. And then, because I already saw Cameron and Mace talking about it. Cameron and Mace was talking about it. Now, one thing that Mace said that also I heard Duke Dennis say is in media training, a way a person can get on the same level as another person is by mentioning and talking about that person. So Stephen A. constantly mentioning LeBron, like, but the thing is, Stephen A. is a sports analyst, commentator, and LeBron plays sports. So he has to talk about him, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the most talked about, you know what I'm saying, characters, whatchamacallit, but putting your name in the same sentence. And so all of this is like, so one thing May said was that's also, so Stephen A says, oh, if he would have hit me, I would have had to throw a punch and this and the third. Nobody talked about fighting. Nobody talked about fighting. Why are you talking about fighting? So Stephen A talked about, like, if he would have hit me and this and the third, I would have definitely had to throw a punch. Then we see a clip of Stephen A throwing some weak ass punches because he had his shoulder fucking messed up, whatever. But it's like, why the fuck? They was talking about it in such a different way, but it was like, LeBron is 40. Top tier shape, 6'8", 270, 280, whatever the fuck it is. Like you don't have no dog in this fight. Like nothing was like, the fuck you talking about? The fuck is you talking about? Like, we don't know if LeBron can fight, and we don't know if Stephen A can fight. But just the way the stats is lined up right now, wouldn't even try it, bro. But Duke Dennis said the same thing as far as content creating goes. If you're gonna be a content creator, you gotta have your name attached in the same sentence with Casanat. You gotta have your name attached in the same sentence with this person, that person, those streamers. There's a couple I'm looking for. I gotta find a clip with Stephen A talking about the little throwing a punch shit. That is absolutely wild. That's one. I gotta find a clip with where Stephen A said something about, as a father, stop this. Because LeBron goes on a podcast and says, yo, this is your job. Like, I'm not going to stop you from doing your job. Your job is to comment and analyze and talk about the sport. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. But it's as a father, stop this. Coming at LeBron as a father. Now, they say LeBron's been in the league for 22 years. He's been in the league more than he's not been in the league. That's how long he's been playing basketball. So, after 22 years, he finally says something. He addresses a reporter, a commenter, whatever. He said that's what triggered him. So the thing about that is, out of all the stuff that people have said about LeBron and the family, that's the one thing that triggered him. So it made me think about, there's a clip. Now, if I was like River TV, oh, River would have all the clips. River would have all the clips lined up for you. She would have everything she sit there and talk about and say. She gonna have the clip. Oh, here's this. Here's this. There's the research. The Googles. Do your fucking research and shit. Cause River, and that's, you know what I'm saying. So even me, that's another thing. Me sitting here thinking about, you know what I'm saying, doing this video, or whatever. Like River would make it so that you don't have to. If you're not up to date with nothing, you just click on the video. She has all the supporting visual evidence. River will find it. She does her research for that and pulls it all and then gives her intake. So there's a clip with LeVar Ball, and he talks about being able to raise your child and stuff like that. But he was like, all those really good players and shit like that, they don't have the time. They got the money, they got the resources, but they don't have the time to invest and to train their son, which is a difference. Like LeVar was like, he wasn't no great basketball player or nothing like that. So all he had was the time to, train his kids. But you see how that plays out. Basically, all his kids made to the NBA. LaMelo and Lonzo are in the NBA currently, and Jello, he was at least he could make some teams. He just wanted to be in the league. I think he got to the G League a little bit. I think he might have had a 10-day contract. I don't know what the hell happened to Jello, but now he got a song. So, and in Jello's song, he talks about, his father. He plays homage to his father. No, I'm not sure if he really wanted to do that or right now. I think they love their father or whatever. But at the same time, I've also seen those clips where it's like Lonzo has tried to stand on business and the dad was like, nah, fuck up. So, going back to this buttery vanilla. All right, we had peach cobbler. Got some buttery vanilla. Might try to have pina colada next. I need to be earning my pina colada. But for the most part, LeVar Ball has been able to, he has 3 successful sons. 2 of them are in the NBA, and 1 of them is now doing the stuff with the music. And so it's like, just honestly true, right? LeBron just did not have enough time. And he talks about, LeBron just even mentioned that too. Like, he's giving Savannah a lot of credit because he was like, all right, I'm going to the moon. And on his way to the moon, he looking down like, I got my fam. And Savannah's like, just go. I got the family. You know what? Fuck it. I told you about it. If you really interested in investing, now I need to find out the rest of the shit so I can really react to it. Oh, no, I really need to finish watching this interview, and then, but I'm gonna just do a live segment for it and just react to the shit. Y'all go find the fucking videos later. I might give a motherfucking pina colada for that. Now I hear the birds. Y'all gotta hear these birds. But I at least do want to see the clip that Stephen A. talking about he's throwing hands. What are you talking about, bro? What else? So it's like, yeah, after 22 years, that was what broke the camel's back, and that was what made LeBron go from coaching. Now Mason Cameron also talked about like that's not a him wanting to address it in person. Here's something that Mace says. Mace is like, don't walk up on somebody if you're not trying to fight. If you're not trying to fight, don't do that. Don't walk up on somebody like that. I mean, if you're trying to fight, when you walk up, swing. But that's just a dangerous predicament. And they said, well, LeBron just takes the hit for that. It doesn't matter how it goes, anything, what. It doesn't matter how and if an altercation happens, LeBron just gets he jeopardizes all of his shit. He loses way more than Stephen A. loses. Now, what I kind of feel bad about, who caught a stray in this, but at the same time, it's something, and it's something that we got to look into now, and we need to see his reaction. Brian Windhorst, I don't know, Brian Windhurst, Brian Windhurst. I think that sounds like a legit last name. Brian Windhurst. I think that's it. They was calling him Wendy. I was like, when y'all start calling him Wendy? It makes sense. His last name is Windhorst, but. LeBron called him a weirdo. He was like, yeah, there's some people that's in it there, and people think we cool, but they just follow me around. I don't know this person. That shit. Like, if you know Brian, or at least like you, because I was like, yo, please don't be this who I'm think I'm talking about. Like I saw her face. I'm like, who is this that talking about? And I'm like, that is bro. So you kind of do associate him with LeBron news. And so now people are speculating like, yo, you really don't know him? Like he has a whole career breaking LeBron news. And it was like, usually you kind of thought like either like he's talking to LeBron or somebody in LeBron's camp team talks to him. And he's saying, LeBron was like, nah, he's a fucking weirdo. And now I was like, yo, either LeBron's a liar or that nigga's a weirdo. We don't know which one's true. And it's like, I want to hear what he has to say. But I kind of felt bad because if you see him and know him, like he is friendly. Like he's one of those, like when I studied art, I didn't really not that I studied art, but I had this little drawing book, and they say if you're gonna draw a character's face, draw a character with a square face, that's more trustworthy. A character with a round face is friendly. Brian Windhurst has the friendly ass face. He has a friendly ass face. He has a soft voice. Like he don't seem like he be trying to. So but he's just a LeBron fan. At the same time, reporter, analyst. So that made me feel kind of bad for him. Caught a random ass stray. Now, people in the comments are saying LeBron is in his I don't give a fuck era. They've been waiting for LeBron to start talking back and commenting and shit. They've been waiting. This is what they've been waiting for. Nigga, 40 years old, he talking back. And you know, because now Stephen A, I think Stephen A said it says he has an interview with LeBron like way back in the day, but that was it. If it is, I haven't seen it. And so now I think because I don't watch ESPN, I think Pat McAfee has a show on ESPN. And so it's like LeBron went on a podcast and show on ESPN, and it's with Pat McAfee. So all the other reporters, analysts, and the third, like who always like you're kind of pretty sure like they would love to have him on their show. They talk about him all day, every day. But he goes and talks to Pat McAfee. How and why? You know, LeBron also has his own podcast. So this shit did not burn all the way. I don't know what the hell happening. This shit did not burn all the way, man. And part of me was like, just put it back in and burn it. That means it's almost time for pina colada. I'll give the Italy pipe a try. And then this morning, like the other day, I kind of understood. The other day, yesterday, I understood why I got tired. Because I didn't, oh, it wasn't yesterday. It was my birthday. I was like, damn, I'm tired as fuck. But that's because I only had 2 hours of sleep. So I understood that. But then last night, I was like, damn, bro. Well, it was like, not even last, yeah, yeah. I went to sleep early as hell. I went to sleep early. I woke up like 6. Go back to sleep. Woke back up like, I think 9. 7. No, I don't remember seeing 7. I think I woke back up at like 9 or something, bro. 9 for sure. Because after that, I was just watching YouTube. I don't know. You know, they're like, you know, the dumbest little smallest thing. I was today years old. I don't know why. I don't know why I never realized it. But the people who make Bic lighters also make the Bic pens. Bic makes pens and lighters. Did not know that. I just never put 2 and 2 together. That's what I could do too. I could watch the interview now. I was like, damn, I gotta get off this to go finish it. That's why I don't fuck with this Italy pipe, bro. Too goddamn heavy. gotta check your email at a decent time of the day. Okay. I'm gonna go back and finish watching the interview.
Now look around here. I mean, fucking baseballs and NFL helmets and basketball jerseys and like it's sport, you know, sport opportunity to make into an all-Catholic high school. And fucking Jerome Lang was like hating on us. Yeah, I was like, oh, this motherfucker, like he's back in Akron hating on us, like going against us. And I'm like, oh shit, he was like our only inspiration. We like looked up to you, and I was like, you know what? I can't fuck this opportunity up, man. If I get the opportunity to make it, I gotta do what I have to do.
I'm gonna have to give myself my own timestamps.
My last name on my back, man. My family, my friends, and also like it's sport. You know, sport has given us so much. I mean, I look around here. I mean, fucking baseballs and NFL helmets and basketball jerseys and like seriously, like you know, a putt thing. Like seriously, like it's given us so much. So like I couldn't miss opportunity. Well, you've done that. I think you figured it out. Yeah, you've done good. Now we'll see what's left. You know, now the conversation is how many years is he going to play? You look like you could probably play forever. Timo has a question for you.
Facts. I'm kind of on that note, and one of the things people got on you about was when you went to Miami. You said you go to Miami. I think some great things behind that as well. Me, lifelong Miami Heat fan, I loved it. But what was it like coming down there, winning your first championship, and what was that kind of low lift off your back? You talk about being amongst the one-name guys. Championships obviously got to come with that. So what was that like going down there and getting that done?
Yeah, I mean, listen, my aspiration was a lot bigger than just, you know, winning MVPs and, you know, being an all-star and, you know, whatever all the individual things. Before I even got to the NBA, I've always won. And it doesn't matter which level you win on. If you're in a winning environment, that shit carries on throughout the rest of your life. My first year ever playing organized sports, I won a Little League football championship that year, and then backed it up with a basketball championship. Undefeated season. My second year, we did the same thing, you know, and I was league MVP in basketball and football. Through middle school championships, through high school, I won 3 state championships. You know, like I was just always born winner, and I knew how to win because of the culture that I was around. I knew how it was supposed to be done. And at that moment, you know, my 7 years in Cleveland, I had some good years. Obviously, some great years. One, I was able to take the team to the NBA Finals. I was 22 years old. I had a moment in Detroit where I went insane, 25 straight, 29 out of 30, you know, and took a team that, you look back at our roster, you're like, what the hell? How was that even possible?
There's a lot of those. We want to dive into all of them. You were in the finals like 45 straight years.
You know what I'm saying? So like, but it got to the point that final season.
Hearing him say this, you know, because some of those players that was on that roster could feel some type of way, like, what you mean? And then, but I feel like hearing him say that, it almost feels like he's heard other people say that about him, and that's what he's just repeating. That's what it sounds like.
And I was like, I've maximized this potential. Yeah. I've squeezed all the juice out of this damn lemon here, and I know it. And in order for me to get to where I want to get to, I have to make a choice for my career going forward. And Miami was the best choice. You know, at that moment, I feel like it was the best choice for me. You know, the conversation I had with D-Wade, had with Bosh, had with Udonis Haslam. You know, D-Wade and UD had been there. They had won one, had beat Dallas. They had been in some big you know, playoff matchups with Detroit, where Detroit beat them, and then they beat Detroit. You know, things of that nature. And then you look at the big four that Boston had. You know, everybody talk about the big three, but everybody always decides that for some odd reason that Rondo wasn't as great as Rondo was. Yeah, it's always just the big three.
He's from Boston. I'm in.
They said the big three, but fucking Rondo he was a dog. He brought it all. He made it all work with those guys.
KG, Paul Pierce, Rondo, but I don't know who the other third person is.
Ray wasn't bringing the ball up. You had Ray flying around. You know, you had Paul when he get it at a certain spot, and Paul was a killer. Then you had KG was anchoring the defense, and also, you know, you throw it to the low post. But they all started with the mind, and that was with Rondo. So for me to go down to Miami, man, one, it was a terrifying experience for me. You got to think, I know a lot of people know, it's the first time I ever left my hometown. I was 25 years old. You got my first 7 years, even though I played for Cleveland, I still lived in Akron. You know, so for 25 straight years, I was
Awesome house. You had an awesome house. We've seen that.
Yeah,
That's a great house.
Yeah, so I'm comfortable. That is my comfort. My comfortability is being in Akron, Ohio. You know, I drive 30 minutes to Cleveland, play my games, and then I shoot right back down to Akron. I'm good. So for the first time, it's like I've always used the analogy. Like I feel like this was my college moment. You know, I didn't have to go to college, so like going to Miami was my moment to basically get out the house with my parents. You know, I was going off to college, and I learned a lot, man. And shit, 2 championships, four finals appearances. You know, 2 more MVPs. You know, and things that I can always look back on and say it was a hell of an experience.
And you guys were the Heatles. You know, that was, you guys were selling out everywhere.
For sure.
Well,
while
we on that, you mentioned you did Wade, and I forget which one of them it was, but they told a story about Pat Riley fucking with your cookie. Yes. That's real. Is that a real
cookie?
Story?
No, it's a true story. Okay. It's a true story. Now, like, Rouse wasn't like Rouse was on the plane and I was about to get my cookies and Rouse snatched them out my hand. You know how stories can become a little bit. They kind of build to Sasquatch at some point. Yep. But there it is. I mean, there was a time where everyone knows I fucking love chocolate chip cookies. It's like my biggest vice.
Specific?
No, it was literally the plane that we were getting on. The ladies on the plane were making chocolate chip cookies.
Homemade?
Yeah, so they knew.
Wow, man.
Yeah, so they were making them and bringing them because we had the same ladies all the time. You know, it was a party of 6. You know, they were rotating. Every time they knew I loved chocolate chip cookies, so they would get on. I would. Hey,
soft.
A little crispy edge. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. And I would get on, and they already knew. They bring me 2 cookies, and I'll get the gambling with the guys, and I got my cookies, and we good. And then one flight I got on, I looked at them, and they looked at me, and I'm like, that didn't look familiar. And I asked him, I was like, dude, we got these. He was like, no, we're not allowed to. No more cookies on these flights.
What?
And we all know where it came from. I looked at D-Wade. D-Wade looked at me. He was like, basically, without even saying, he was like, fucking Rouse done it again. Rouse strikes again. I was like, damn.
So what was it like that? Because they talk about the heat culture and Pat Riley and obviously you're just saying no more cookies. No, it's LeBron's cookies. I don't give a fuck.
One thing about Rouse, he don't give a fuck about nothing. Listen, if it ain't about that heat shield and covering that heat culture, I mean, we see what's going on out there. Well, not anymore, but we see Jimmy and, it was at one point where even I left and it was time for D-Wade to get paid and he didn't want to pay D-Wade and D-Wade left. I was like, oh shit. When that happened, I was like, when Wade County had to leave and go to Chicago, I looked at the cookie situation. I was like, oh shit, maybe it wasn't that bad. I mean, D-Wade's millions and my cookies, I was like, okay, maybe I made it out safe. I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad.
Let's talk about the cultures. Because Cleveland, you talk about getting your career, trying, making, feeling like you had to go to Miami. Obviously, did I go back to Cleveland one night? That parade was bananas.
Yes,
and then obviously out at LA.
You could buy on your own. You could get a lender, get showings, get through all the paperwork, get an inspector, get into negotiations, get a stress rash, and finally get
This
ready
shit
to
gonna pick up
close.
before school
Or you could get an agent who's a realtor with the expertise and ethical training to make home happen.
What is it about JJ Redick's culture that you have felt, experienced, and obviously a couple games, if not one, but 4th in the West still, won a playoff push. What is it about JJ Redick and his culture, or what you guys have right now that you like?
I think the best thing about JJ is that he's just a great podcaster.
Yes, we learned a lot, bro. You guys were talking about when the fucking doubles here, do we round here, do we do under this?
He's just a podcaster that, for some odd reason, became a head coach, and all because of me. It's just the weirdest thing in the world, and those conversations have died down. But no, I think one thing about JJ, man, he bleeds the game and he breathes the game of basketball every single day. He's one of those guys that it's kind of just like me. Like if we lose a game or we didn't play up to par, there's no such thing as sleeping that night. There's no such thing as sleeping into the next match, into the next game. And he's just determined to he's a dickhead.
Gotta be.
And I love it. And when I was a kid, I used to watch Duke. Now I realize it. I hated Duke when I was growing up. And then when I got a little older and I started playing with Coach, I started matching up with Coach K. We played with I played with him for Team USA. And I was like, okay, I see why he's great. I see why I hated JJ Redick. I see why I hated Shane Battier. And then Shane came over to Miami, helped us win a championship. I was like, I see it. He's like the greatest guys / dickheads that you ever met.
Coach K, you think JJ has a lot of Coach K?
Absolutely. He's just he's meant for it. And this is some things that can't be explained, but when you got the hit factor, it's just like, oh yeah,
Does he still shoot ever? Is he ever still
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He'll let us know for sure.
Okay, let's talk about a guy who made a shot the other day in warm-ups that was, I don't know how, it defied physics, I think. Luka, he did the shot up over.
From the complete opposite.
Yeah, and then I don't know how that works, actually. Like science, I don't know how. But then he'll do one off the fucking Jumbotron. Yeah, here it is right here. You've seen this, obviously, so yes. He probably does this type of stuff every single day. What has it been like being his teammate? And I think it was the first game, there was, you guys were calling it up or whatever, and you looked at Luka, and it was a big deal because you said, you don't change a damn thing. We'll change for you, actually, is what you said. And then, I think it was a big deal for people to hear you say, but also, obviously, Luka is
You see his play on the game. He's a very transcendent player. And you talk about that moment, you got to think, I can't put myself in his shoes because I've never been traded before, but I can have a sense and be a human being to know you commit to a franchise for 7 years. I can't put myself in his play on the game. He's a very transcendent player. And you talk about that moment, you got to think, I can't put myself in his shoes because I've never been traded before, but I can have a sense and be a human being to know you commit to a franchise for 7 years and you feel like, this is the place where I'm gonna be. This is my comfort. I talk about my comfort before I went to Miami, and then out of nowhere, bam, you just get traded. I don't give a damn where you're going. It doesn't matter who you're paired with. That's a shock to your system. It's a shock to your system. And even though he was ready to play, that moment I feel like that had to be said because he is still that guy. In order for us to reach our potential, he has to be that guy. He has to fit out, and we'll figure it out. Let us figure it out with you. Because we need you to be who you are. But it's definitely, I lost a dear friend.
I still think he did the shit for ratings. It was a good rating.
Big friend and a champion, duo with AD, miss him to death. And but we was able to gain Luka Magic, and I think both sides will.
A lot of people thought you two wouldn't be able to work together because ball dominant, LeBron James too much of a prima donna.
Yeah, that's right.
Not gonna let Luka come in and do the Luka shit. And he won't be able to figure it out.
Yeah, it must be the idiots that don't know the game of basketball. Oh my goodness, there's so many of those guys out there right now.
I would say your league, you, and your league has the most absurd chatter.
Oh my goodness.
It really
is every single day. And then you realize, you was like, I'll be looking at it and I hear it, I'm like, those guys a lot of those guys that played the game or did not play the game, it was just they played the game while they were talented. I don't think they ever thought the game. I don't think they were ever smart. I just think they were bigger and stronger and maybe faster at the time, and they dominated. And when it was over, it was over. They don't. That's why I'm able to still play at fucking 40 years old.
Well, that's what everybody talks about.
My mind is just like I can play the game because I can outthink the guys out there. And as my athleticism has went down a notch, not a lot, but a notch.
A little fat too.
As my athleticism has went down a notch, like I'm able to still bring up other facets of my game to be able to still, do what I need to do every single night. But the talking heads of our sport, oh my goodness.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Especially for you. I mean, you're in a much different situation than maybe any other human in the history of sports, if I had to guess. And like I said at the beginning, it's a compliment, though. Like, they're immediately telling this teenager that we need to talk about him as if he is Michael Jordan, who obviously transcended the sport, changed the sport forever, and everything like that. But then it gets to the point where it's like, hey, this is a real conversation. It almost immediately becomes divisive. This is an interesting concept here. You probably lost a lot of trust in media, I would assume, because of the things that happened, not just what was said on TV, but what it led other people to probably think they should say?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it all started with the decision. The decision really had me sit back and because people literally I give a moment. So the decision, it was brought to me to be able to, do something cool on TV, do a kind of college style. Like I said, never had went to college. I was like, this would be pretty cool. Made the decision, put the hat on, but also, raise $2.5 million for a great cause, and also be able to, make it cool. And the funniest thing is, from that moment, it was December 2nd, 2010 was my first game back to Cleveland. So I stay at the hotel, stay at the Ritz downtown in Cleveland. And this one I knew that it was, people did not even really care or didn't even understand the situation. They just wanted to be a part of the nonsense. I hit the elevator, go downstairs to the bus, catch the bus, go over to, I think it was the Q, the Quicken Loans Arena then. And the elevator opens, and there's two guys, random guys on the elevator. I don't know, you guys can always pull this up. They used to have these FUKLBJ t-shirts, black t-shirts, red letters. And I see the two guys, they see me, they say, oh my fucking God. Oh, no, listen, this is, man, we love you so much, man. We're just here for the spectacle, man. We're just here for the spectacle. Like, seriously, we love you, man, and have a good get. And the door in the elevator door open. I was like,
those are two white dudes, by the way.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I didn't want to say it because we're outnumbered right now. It was like, oh my God, man, we fucking love you, man. Like, oh shit, don't. And the elevator closed. I was like, you know what? This is all part of the spectacle, and it's about to get haywire.
So the decision, you think, is whenever the conversation kind of changed a little bit about you?
Yeah, because they just needed something. They needed something. Everything was so positive, and I gave them no reason to make it negative.
I wouldn't fuck it up.
But they needed anything. I'm doing everything I need to do on the court.
His
I'm
villain
not on
era.
the streets. I'm not getting caught in all the bullshit that doesn't respect the game and respect my craft. It was like, oh, you decided to go on TV and make a decision for your career. We got you. We got it. We finally got it. We finally made a little chink in the armor. We got something.
It's selfish.
Oh, it's selfish. Yeah. It's selfish, brother. Yeah.
And then that caught a little bit of fire, right? Because a lot of people don't like seeing people that are successful in anything, especially if somebody's taking happiness from them and their team, which you were doing, obviously with the Cavs. And then that just got, you're saying from that moment is until, which leads obviously to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, we're watching it. We're also, you're seeing it as well.
So he literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it. Yeah, sure. I didn't have a Taylor Swift.
Until, which leads obviously to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that, and then that just got, you're saying from that moment is until, which leads obviously to you and Stephen A. Hey, legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, we're watching it. We're also, you're seeing it as well.
So he literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it. Yeah, sure. I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I felt the need to address it.
Yeah, are you
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait till the video to drop so you can address it, it's your ass. Like seriously, it's and like another, he completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job to criticize or to be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. And when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players. And I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about it. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the fucking freezer and his tiny whiteies on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get
relax, bro. Like relax. Like seriously, just
How do you feel about the way the game's covered you players? Because this is a big topic of conversation with the NBA. We have Tyrese Halliburton. Who comes through. We love Tyrese.
Oh, he's the best man.
Tyrese loves you too.
Tyrese is great. Love that guy.
So Tyrese gave me the heads up, like, hey, LeBron coming on your show is a massive ordeal because, like, everybody in the NBA, like, does look up, like, LeBron is our guy. Like, I think Pat Beverly told the story down at the bubble. Whenever everybody was like, we need to take a stand and yada, yada, yada. And then I think he was the person who went up and said, hey, if you're fucking playing, we're all playing. If you're not playing, we're not playing. But I think that's how everybody in the league feels about you. So congrats on that, by the way. Respect amongst your peers.
I had respect for my peers. It means a lot. And I carry that, man. And I take that with a lot of responsibility because there was too many years went by when players did not have an opportunity to just speak and their voices to be heard or allow the narrative to get so much outside the sports. Like if I miss a game winner or if I don't show up in the finals, like I was supposed to versus Dallas in year one in Miami, you can say whatever the fuck you want. I should have been a lot better. I know. But like, don't take it to my household or take it to what's going on and other guys. Like I seen something with Embiid where a reporter came into the locker room and started speaking about, like, I think his brother or something. Like how weird is that? Like that's so weird. Like why are we taking it to that point? And we're taking it to that point because people have gotten too comfortable. I think people in the media have gotten too comfortable, especially with our sport. They got too comfortable where, back in the day, like for sure, you would never bring up Charles Oakley's brother.
I'm the voice inside your head. And while you're typically athletic, right now, Rick, you're pathetic. Shank. If you don't have the right auto coverage, the cost of this can hit you out of nowhere.
Charles Oakley will smack you through his brother. Mad Max, like his name was Mad Max for a reason. It wasn't because he picked you up 94 feet. It was because if you said something about Mad Max, like he's gonna separate your jaw, and there was no repercussions from that. Like they got to the point where they knew, like, oh, these guys can't really do anything to us anymore because there would be a fine, suspension, and
and don't embarrass the league.
Don't embarrass the league, or now here come your sponsors. They're coming after us or coming after you, and they're gonna be like, what are you doing? Like that's when they decided they could thought.
So the conversation about old school basketball is a real thing. Like, because that's the new narrative now. Is like it's a nostalgia issue. Like a lot of people who grew up in a different era of basketball and get introduced to basketball, they're gonna like that era regardless, no matter what happens in the future. You've played through what now? 3 years?
Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah.
Back whenever Kuzi was doing no look pass. Yeah, the first ever no look pass. Yeah, Kuzi.
Yeah, he's a dog.
And he was an exciting boy, wasn't he? He was an exciting boy. He was
Who's
one
that
of the
game? Who's that game for sure?
Boom.
Who's that game?
Yeah, but we're watching these highlights, and I'll speak for you.
For that era.
Exactly. And you don't have to say this.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll say this.
Yeah, game for that.
I grew up in Pittsburgh, so we didn't have an NBA team. So I was more an NHL guy, but I would watch the Lake Show at night because I couldn't sleep. So
Right.
I did know the NBA, but not like I didn't follow it as closely. When I watched The Last Dance, I was watching a lot of highlights, and I was watching people dribble a ball like this, and I was like, I don't know how that works in modern basketball. I think you guys have played a couple different sports. I think there was a Kuzi era of sports where a no-look pass, holy shit. And there was an era where people were starting to get like nasty. There's some more.
Yeah, you had Pistol Pete Maravich. He started coming in and started, getting a little bit mad. But then the ball was hitting off guys' heads and stuff. So they looking at him like, what are you doing? Like,
And never see those highlights. They'll only see the highlights. Highlights are the only bangers survive. Then obviously Jordan comes in and transforms everything. Him dunking from the foul line, mass ordeal, made a whole fucking brand off it. He's flying. Now kids are like dunking from the 3-point line in high school. It's just like the game has evolved so much, I think. But there is like a nostalgia component that takes place with you guys this modern era. Do you feel that? How do you address that?
No. I definitely feel it. And I think, we just have to recognize that evolution is just a part of life, man. Like, shit, you look at the Hummer from the 1970s to the Hummer of today. You're going to be like, okay, you might be nostalgic about it. You loved it in the 70s, but do you really want to drive that every day right now in 2025? You're going to get out the car and your goddamn neck and your back is going to be hurting so bad. Like, seriously, you're going to be hurting so bad. You're going to be like, okay, you know what? Do you really want to drive that every day right now in 2025? You're going to get out the car and your goddamn neck and your back is going to be hurting so bad. Like, seriously, you're going to be hurting so bad. You're going to be like, okay, you know what? This might be just a Sunday chill car. Like, I drive it up the street, get some ice cream, come back home. But I
You feel like because it gets too much?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta just start it up, let it just crank the gas for about 2 hours just to make sure it's still running. But we have to understand that there's players and eras and things of that nature. Like, we get it, but you watch some of the NFL games as well from the 70s and the 80s, and you got Jack Lambert and those guys coming through completely decapitating people. Ronnie Lott tore his pinky off and then went to the sideline. I was like, just tear the rest of it off and get back out there. I get it. Those are nostalgic moments, but the game is different, and we should respect all eras in that era. We can't be saying, okay, just because Wilt was great in the 60s and 70s, that he'll be great now. And we also can't say that some of the guys now will be great. It is what it is. Respect that era, and we move on. But the whole, every single day that he's better, he's not better, he would. You trying to tell me Giannis wouldn't be able to play an NBA game in the 70s?
I think he wouldn't be able to do.
Neither would you.
Giannis Antetokounmpo would have 250 points in a game in the 70s. 250.
Is that Kuzi? When was Kuzi playing? Kuzi's locked. He's up fucking Giannis.
That's no disrespect. It's no disrespect. But seriously, Kyrie Irving.
They would have called him a witch. They would have called him a witch.
No, they would have told Kyrie, you're not. You know how they used to tell Lou Alcindor at the time that he couldn't dunk in high school games? They would have told Kyrie, you're not allowed to dribble anymore. That's what they would have told him. Dribbling is out ruled. They would have seen that.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'9".
And how heavy are you?
I'm give or take in between 215 to 280. I don't know. Depends on the day. Okay. Depends on if you're giving my cookies or not.
We're tipping too close to 280. LeBron.
Give or take in between 215 to 280. I don't know. Depends on the day. Okay. Depends on if you're giving my cookies or not.
We're tipping too close to 280. LeBron, the Beatles are becoming a heavyweight battle. So 6'9".
Yeah.
Let's say you're you look very thin right now.
Yeah, I feel good.
So 215, 6'9", 220. Could easily get to 260 though. I think that would play in a lot of different areas.
Come on. I can play.
Just like
I would be able to play in any era. It's funny you hear some of the older guys like LeBron James couldn't play in this era.
Never been fouled by Bill Laimbeer before.
Yeah. I think I seen Dennis Rodman say that one time. It was like LeBron James not skilled enough. Not big enough. He's not. Doesn't weigh enough. He's not strong enough.
Can't handle it.
I'm like, okay.
Okay, let's talk about you flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
That's why people get mad.
Yeah, I know.
Now, why do you do that? Patrick Mahomes does the same thing. He's the greatest of all time. For us, in the conversation.
Good question.
The rules indicate.
Hey, now he just asked LeBron, why do you flop all the time? I'm ready to hear this.
Let's talk about you flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
That's why people get mad.
Yeah, I know.
Now, why do you do that? Patrick Mahomes does the same thing. He's the greatest of all time. For us, in the conversation, the greatest of all time, the rules indicate that if you're to hit him, he gets 15.
No doubt.
That's the same thing for you?
I wish. I wish, because I am like literally over like the last 5-6 years, while everybody's been claiming I flop all the time. I'm like in the bottom half of free throw attempts per game.
Oh, they won't give you the whistle.
You don't get the whistle.
No,
Superstar treatment?
you know the funny thing is, I have a lot of teammates that be like, they come to the Lakers and they be like, man, when I used to play against you, I used to think you got every goddamn call and I hated it. And now that I'm your teammate, it's like, oh my goodness, you don't get any calls. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. Just keep playing.
No, just like you see me in the third quarter. I got some flop code. I practiced on this one last night. There's a video from the Last Dance where I think the ref says to Michael Jordan, he goes, I didn't see it, Michael. I am so sorry. I would never do it to you, Mom. Yeah, I believe you, Michael. Yeah, that's the clip. And
Oh, yeah, I saw that. And Mike's like, oh, goddamn it. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, wait.
Okay, so you and Michael had a good spot.
Who, me and Michael?
Jordan.
Yeah, we're a good spot. We don't talk.
Why not, you think?
I'm still playing. I'm still playing. I'm still focused on my craft right now.
When you're done, you think you two people can have a conversation?
I hope so. The funny thing is, like, me and Kobe, besides our, the late great Kobe, obviously, me and Kobe never had a real relationship either. Until we was on the Laker team. We had a great relationship there. Laker team 8, Laker team 12. But it was always competitive between us. We were always, like, I was on the East Coast, he was on the West Coast, and it was like, even though we never, I fucked up one time in, 09 and didn't beat Orlando, and I think it was 09, didn't beat Orlando and didn't get an opportunity to play in the finals. But, like, until I became a Laker, and then...
Now, that's something that they studied and looked at, too. Now, they will say they tried to get a LeBron and Kobe's final. LeBron just said he couldn't, he was... He tried. He says it. He was supposed to meet Kobe in the finals. Orlando had other...
beat Orlando, and I think it was 09, didn't beat Orlando and didn't get an opportunity to play him in the finals. But, like, and until I became a Laker, and then he retired, that's when our relationship, like, became really, really good. Yeah. He, like, welcomed me, called me, like, bro, anything you need in LA, like, I got you. You're a Laker now, your family, and we would have multiple conversations. He was, obviously, I saw him coming to a lot of games and things of that nature, and when I passed...
I think the logic is flawed here. He said him and Kobe had a better relationship once Kobe retired. Michael Jordan been retired. So that's not a reason why. But Cam and May said the same thing. Cam and May said, I just don't think Jordan's like he's not like a friendly person. He's not like a friendly guy. You don't see a lot of Jordan, whatever. Jordan had to do his own little documentary. You know what I'm saying? So Jordan would trash his teammates. He's not like a friendly person. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not like a friend. He's very competitive or whatever. That's the mentality. More so, but he's not like, and then somebody else also said that, well, Cameron and Mace on there, I fuck with their podcast too, because it's funny as hell. It's called It Is What It Is. And so their fucking it is IIWII. It is what it is. When you type that shit in all uppercase, it looks like the W is in fucking like the little absolute value sign or whatever. I fuck with the shit. But they always, when they talk, every time they sit there and talk, they're like, pause. Like, they make sure they always saying pause, bro, when they be talking. Like, I'm not sure how many episodes. I feel like they said it almost every time I watched it. Pause, bro. That's the pause moment. And so he was like, the way LeBron operates and the way Jordan operates, they probably still just wouldn't even. I think dude was like, LeBron had $1 billion. LeBron's a billionaire. Jordan has a couple billions. It's just like they just operate in different spaces. I don't know.
The scoring record in Philly, I think he had a tweet out there like, keep on going, like, keep transcending the game. And we would have multiple conversations. He was, obviously, I saw him coming to a lot of games and things of that nature. And when I passed him in the scoring record in Philly, I think he had a tweet out there like, keep on going, like, keep transcending the game, keep going, like, and that shit like meant so much to me. So, like, I think it's because I'm still playing, and MJ's, we all know MJ. Even if you don't know him personally, he's one of the most ruthless competitors coming down wearing the number 23, and every time my name is mentioned with his. He's like, I don't fucking talk to you.
Yeah, I'm on a golf course. Yeah, I'm on a golf course.
Don't talk to me right now. I'm on the back nine. Do not call me.
It was great to see y'all at the top 75.
Oh yeah, that was dope. That was dope. That's straight respect, admiration, and just like, me for sure. I mean, shit. Like I said, I wear 23 because of MJ. And that shit, the inspiration that he gave me as a kid in Akron, Ohio, that don't have much inspiration in your hometown. You look at something.
He says he wears 23 because of MJ.
Somebody on the TV screen, so like Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Michael Jordan playing for the Bulls, Jay-Z, Biggie, and Tupac. That was like, that was my inspirations. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed that because I didn't have like
Lang.
fucking Jerome Lang. Like they know me and shit. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Kind of on that note, Bronny, your son, he obviously had that inspiration in the home, and you talked about it since years ago, wanting to play long enough to play with your son. So you obviously visualized how was the real moment with that happen? Because I know me seeing it, seeing the Griffey's there, just seeing, like that was just an unbelievable moment. So what was that like for you, really actually being in it?
Like seeing that pop fly head towards King Griffey Sr. and then see Junior over there right before the ball got to his glove and he snatched it out the air and run back to the dugout like laughing at his pops. Like that was a cool ass moment. And for that moment, that game, that home opener versus Minnesota, and then just over there and see Griffey Jr., man, the kid, and seeing his pops over there, and us getting that picture at half court, and then us going out on the floor and having that moment. Physically, I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there.
You're floating.
I'm floating. And
That's that right there.
I can only imagine where Bronny was. I don't know. We haven't even talked about it yet. At some point we will, but I wasn't even there. Like I might have been in the rafters. I might have been at home. My body might have been at home watching the game, watching the moment. I completely was not there. And but damn, that was an unbelievable moment, man, for me to be able to like have that dream, be able to speak it into existence, for it to come to fruition. For my mom and my wife and my daughter and my youngest son to be there is like, I started thinking about everything from what the hell he went through not less than a year before with his his cardiac arrest, man.
That came out of nowhere, Sammy.
That came out of nowhere. It was a birth defect that quite honestly, if he never played sports or he never like started to become strong and run fast and all those stuff, we would never have to worry about it. But as he got stronger and things of that nature, it was just something inside his heart that, was just pounding at his heart and pounding at his lungs that, unfortunately, we had the incident. And thankfully, a lot of these kids we've been seeing a lot lately in sports, not only in basketball, but in football. And unfortunately, we was able to catch it. And to all the families out there that haven't had the opportunity to catch their kids before it gets to the point where they're not here anymore. Like, to see that happen to Bronny and for him to be able to play that same year after that happened, at USC, and then less than a year later be drafted by the Lakers, and then in that fall we go out there together. So that's why I wasn't there. Like we walked in together, but I was not there.
That's a dad moment. That's really cool. People forget, you're only one name now, LeBron, but you're still a human too. And I'm seeing,
for sure.
Your baby boy. And then obviously that led to the thing with Stephen A. talking about him and how critical everybody has been to Bronny. And I think that's the pressure that a second generation star has on him. His whole life he's had that. It feels like he is very. He's like a 55-year-old. It looks like the way he kind of handles it all. And I think you've even said that as well. But how about his development? We had Rich Paul on the day after the draft. Because there was a bunch of.
It's sad.
Excuse me.
So one of the things that I think again Cameron May talked about was like just seeing that on some like you see your child stop breathing, bro. Your heart stops.
Rich Paul's telling teams, hey, you drafted him who was out of Australia. So there was a lot of those types of things happening. Luckily, the Suns were involved. There was a chance they could get you, but he ends up with the Lakers with you. And obviously, it's a whole storm. Like LeBron James is bullying, blah, blah, blah. Everything, the way it always goes.
Of course.
This guy's not good enough. This guy's not this. And he does start out a little bit rough, NBA-wise. But now, he just dropped 39 last night in the G League. I think he had like a double-double or something. He had his best game in the NBA last week. He's obviously getting better and better. You have to be loving every moment. And how proud of Bronny are you for what he's going through?
Listen, for me as a dad, it doesn't matter if he never scores, ever. For me as a dad, I'm just super proud of him, period, as a young man. For me, as a mentor and as a teammate of his, and that wants to see him thrive because I've seen the work he's put into the game, I am super proud of his development to where he is now. From the moment that, he was drafted in June of 2025 to us being now in March of 2026, his development is
He said 2026.
And I just think, I had a good friend of mine, who went through a cardiac arrest as well. And he told me that, well. And back then, when it happened to him in the early 2000s, they wasn't with going back to performing. It was like, if it happened, it's over with.
We're not rolling dice.
Yeah, we're not rolling the dice. There was not enough data on it. It's like, you have a cardiac arrest, it is over. We don't want this on our resume. They was not going back to perform to play. And he told me, he was like, man, I'm gonna be honest, it took me about 2.5 years to finally get back to just normalcy. Like, my body, my mind, and, you know, he said, what happened to me, I was 23 years old. Ronnie was 19 years old, you know, and he said it's gonna take a little time, and I reason with that, but also he's doing things right now less than 2 years, you know, and it's because of his determination and his will to want to get better and his will to, like, I don't really care what y'all saying. I hear it. He did an article the other day. He was like, yeah, I hear the noise. I use it as motivation, but I also know what I'm capable of. And, you know, I've always told my kids, like, all of them, you know, they all play sports. 2 basketball players. My youngest son going to Arizona on a full ride. My daughter's.
What is he, 7 foot tall? Like, out of nowhere. Right? He popped up out of nowhere. Because we follow your family on the internet, obviously. We see it all. And it's like Bronny, okay, and then little Bryce. Little Bryce with the glasses.
Right, exactly.
And then all of a sudden, one video popped up of an Aussie. And Bryce.
Wait a minute. So he on his way to Arizona. My daughter's, you know, she's playing 12 and under volleyball. She just turned 10. So, like, and I just tell him, like, it doesn't matter about the noise. That's going to happen. It's only about.
Bryce is taller than Bronny now.
Go out and practice. If you think you want to, if you fall in love with it, you only can fall in love with the process. Don't worry about the outcome. Fall in love with the process, and that shit will take care of itself. So, super proud of Bronny, man. I know, very long-winded when you talk about it.
No, that's beautiful. That's dope. That's nice to hear. Fall in love with the process.
You only can fall in love with the process. But that's going to happen. It's only about, like, if you love it, go out and practice. If you think you want to, if you fall in love with it, you only can fall in love with the process. Don't worry about the outcome. Fall in love with the process, and that shit will take care of itself. So, super proud of Bronny, man. I know, very long-winded when you talk about the kids. I just started thinking about him, but super proud of his game and where he is today. You know, starting off the G League season with, like, you know, just trying to figure it out, and now, shit, like you said last night, 39. And more than anything, when I talked to him, he was more pissed off at the technical free throw that he missed more than anything.
Have a 40-point game.
40
Right.
I could have had a 40 ball, and I missed that damn technical free throw. So, man, the kid is he's awesome.
He's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
It is, and the story has gotten so loud, and I think that's why listening to you talk and you say you get long-winded about the kid, it's like, well, that's why everything happened. That happened a couple weeks ago. But, like, you playing with him, obviously was a dream. You said that years ago. Bryce now, though, I mean, very possible. That is.
Oh, don't do that to me.
You said you're 215. Now we're.
Hey, yo. Bronny, Bryce, and LeBron on the same team.
When you're 280, you're in the best shape you've been in. That conversation's loud about now. About how many more does LeBron James have? I think fans, I think the league, I bet you Adam Silver is wondering the same exact thing because of what you've done for the league, for how long you've done it. That convo pops up every year. Is it for you too, or is it just for outside?
No, it's popping up more and more every year because obviously I know I'm on the other side of the hill than the previous side, you know. So I've done this for a long time, and then obviously I know it's like, okay, now you get to the top of that roller coaster, and it's like, okay, when is this damn roller coaster gonna go down?
Kennywood,
You know, like, so I understand that. So I don't know, man. It's all about, for real, for me, it's my mind. If I could continue to, I am all about the process. Like, I am all about the process, and if it gets to the point where I don't feel like showing up to the arena 5 hours in advance, or I don't feel like training, or I don't feel like studying the scout sheet of guys. Like, if it gets to that point, like, I know, like, you know what, Bron, it's a wrap.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, you will be personally.
Yeah.
5 hours before the game, you're showing up every day?
Yeah, 7:30 game, I'm usually there around 2:15.
What do we got? We got pull a tub, we're drinking some, putting some wine on our, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, you will be personally.
Yeah.
5 hours before the game, you're showing up every day?
Yeah, 7:30 game, I'm usually there around 2:15.
What do we got? We got pull a tub, we're drinking some, putting some wine on our feet.
Putting wine on our
A
feet.
little bit of everything, for sure. I'm just wine, drink a little wine, too.
Oh, I saw you walking in the game. Remember Big Boost? Oh, yeah. I was walking with the wine to the game. Yeah, I remember that. Mailed it in, LeBron's, but showing up drunk. Everything you do is talked about.
Yeah, I had one former Laker. I wasn't even playing. It was preseason. I had worked out before the game. I wasn't playing like a former Laker. I was on the bench, like, you know, eating fruit. Like, you know, I worked out. Okay, shit, I got a shower. Let me get out here to watch the guys, support the guys during the preseason game. It's like year fucking 20 for me, probably. Why am I even going out here for a preseason game? But I'm a good guy. I love my teammates. I'm a good teammate. So I go out there, and the next day I wake up as a fucking Laker guy, play for the Lakers. I know you guys gonna look this up. It's like, look, it's very selfish. But why is he over here eating fruit? What are you doing? He could have did that in the back, or he could have had that at home. I'm like, bro, I'm literally just trying to like replenish everything I just lost in my workout in the weight room. And in the bag that you didn't see, but you worried about me about a damn bowl of fruit and everything.
You're not being committed, is the conversation. LeBron James, this guy's not committed. Not committed.
Like I had a steak and eggs over there or some shit. Like, I don't know, man.
Something to think about.
That might be give him something really big.
Yeah, a little protein in there. Connor, massive Boston Celtics fan. This question.
Yeah, who's Boston Celtics fan? This might not be the year, but looking at the league and looking forward, the big convo is once LeBron is gone, who's the face of the league? Everyone's talking about the face of the league. As a Celtics fan, of course, I say like, why doesn't Jason Tatum get more love? But even talking about the future, when for you did you become the face of the league? Like what year was it? Obviously, right away you're getting talked about as a one name guy. But when did you feel like, okay, this is officially my league? Like I am taking over this entire.
I never had that notion. I never had that notion and never like woke up like. After I brushed my teeth, like, yeah, this is my league. I'm the face of the league.
Shinies up?
Yeah, I'm a shinies up. But I did know there was a responsibility put on me to carry the league in a certain fashion. You gotta think that like before I entered the league and like right after MJ retired, after he came back the second or third time, he came back and he was down with Washington. There was a big like, fan player separation with our league. But it just wasn't resonating with a lot of the players or. A lot of guys was, didn't really care, or whatever the case may be. And I felt like, in order for, myself to make a name for myself, obviously I knew the play was going to take care of itself because I knew how much I committed to it, but also I wanted to handle the responsibility, of showing a face of the league in the sense of like a modern citizen, being a role model. It was, we have guys who didn't want to be a role model to the sport or didn't want to be a role model to the game. Didn't want to appreciate the game or commit to the game. And I felt like, I had an opportunity to not only play the game that I love, but also I wanted fans to follow me. I wanted people to follow my journey. And what came out of that was me kind of being, I guess, people say the face of the league.
Yeah, the Sprite commercials.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I never went out to be like, I want to be the face of the league. Like, I seen a lot of shit too. Like I seen Brian Windhurst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like,
you guys played together in high school.
This guy was like, says he's like my fucking best friend. These guys was.
Oh.
I seen Brian Windhurst on one of these, like what I'm saying.
It's the Brian Windhurst part.
Went out to be like, I want to be the face of the league. Like, I seen a lot of shit too. Like I seen Brian Windhurst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like,
Wendy, you guys played together in high school.
This guy was like, says he's like my fucking best friend. These guys are just weird, but
Wait, Wendy, that's not real.
It was our force around. He went on a show and said, like, oh, don't let LeBron fool you. Like, he wears number 23 because of Michael Jordan. Okay, that's a fact. He signed with Nike because of Michael Jordan. It's like, motherfucker, I didn't. I signed with Nike because I got a hell of a signing bonus. They gave me a 7-year, $90 million contract. And I moved my mom out of the hood the next day I signed that contract. Like, and ultimately, my whole thing's like, what do I want to wear off the court? It's like, I want to wear fucking Nikes. Like, I want to wear Jordans. I want to wear pennies. I want to wear Bo Jacksons. I want to wear Air Maxes. I want to wear, like, so, like, like, what are we talking about? So, like, I knew there was a responsibility for sure. Like, listen, man, during the ball drop, during the lottery drop, Cleveland got the #1 pick. I just don't think that was.
What are you saying? Don't you think?
Let's keep LeBron home. When Patrick goes to the Knicks, Derrick Rose hit bull. I understand the assignment, guys. See a lot of shit too. Like I seen Brian Windhurst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like,
Wendy, you guys played together in high school.
This guy was like, says he's like my fucking best friend. These guys are just weird, but
It goes on weird.
That's not real.
It was our force around. He went on a show and said, like, oh, don't let LeBron fool you.
Let's start with the eye chart.
What makes you think I can read?
You can talk, and you booked an eye exam online.
Okay, good points. Get 2 pairs of glasses and an eye exam starting at just $89.95 at America's Best.
Like, he wears number 23 because of Michael Jordan. Okay, that's a fact. He signed with Nike because of Michael Jordan. It's like, motherfucker, I didn't. I signed with Nike because I got a hell of a signing bonus. They gave me a 7-year, $90 million contract. And I moved my mom out of the hood the next day I signed that contract. Like, and ultimately, my whole thing's like, what do I want to wear off the court? Like, I want to wear fucking Nikes. Like, I want to wear Jordans. I want to wear pennies. I want to wear Bo Jacksons. I want to wear Air Maxes. I want to wear, like, So
Primes.
like, like what are we talking about? So like, I knew there was a responsibility for sure. Like, listen, man, during the ball drop, during the lottery drop, Cleveland got the #1 pick. I just don't think that was.
What are you saying? Don't you feed
Let's
the
keep LeBron home. You know what? Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. Derrick Rose to the Bulls. I understand the assignment, guys. I had to make sure that, I had to do my part. I didn't want to be a fuck up. I just didn't want to be a fuck up, man. Like I said earlier in the show, like, no one gets this opportunity, man. It's 0 to none, and I couldn't be a fuck up. So that's what came with it.
You've done a great job representing it all. Do you feel like we are at a phase, though? You talked about before you got in the league, there was like a potential disconnect between the players and the fans.
Yeah.
Felt like that was almost starting to happen again until I was back half of this season. It feels like most momentum you guys have had.
Yeah.
A while. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think it's all just understanding. Understanding. From a player perspective, and also we're getting closer to playoffs. It's a long ass season, man. Between us and the NFL, man, there's so much excitement, but it's one game a week, and you get an opportunity to get excited, like when that Sunday, or you got Thursday night games now.
Monday.
I mean, shit, even occasional Saturday games.
Wednesday.
Christmas.
It took Christmas from you guys.
Christmas. Yeah, like that. It's like a fucking Grinch. Like, but no, in all seriousness, like it's one game a week, so you like the excitement, is there. So you have us. We just came out of playing 6 games in 8 days. 6 games in 8 days is like, oh man, and 3 sets of back to back. So, but the playoffs is on its way. The weather is getting better. The excitement is getting, the crunch time is like, in the West is, you got 4 or 5 teams, 1 or 2 games from behind each other. So I think the connection is coming back. Everyone loves it. And now you got March Madness going on in college basketball.
You follow?
So I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't follow, man. I don't do the brackets. I love the sport. I watch occasionally some games, but it's hard watching college basketball for me, man.
Different sport.
Yeah, it's a different sport. Yeah, it's a different sport from when we play. And every time a kid drives, a kid could just come out of nowhere and slide up underneath him, and it's always a charge. You can't do a Euro step; it's a travel.
Well, Derek Queen, kid from Maryland. I don't know if you saw that.
Gavin step, I love it. Get ball, gather 1-2 off glass, and game time. I just don't. You shouldn't need 35 seconds to shoot the damn basketball. But it's the game.
I had 2 halves. Why is that a thing?
Yeah, the only sport, right? The only level.
Women's went to 4 quarters, right? Yeah. We went 2 halves for. It's long. It's so. I don't want to watch 1 half.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's too long.
It's long. It's long, and then they got to stack the timeouts because of commercials or whatever the gameplay. Like, I think the 4 quarters kind of helps TV as well.
It does. It does, and it helps the players too. Like it's 4 quarters, and it's too long. You get a kid who gets 2 fouls in the first half, you can't play again. He's sitting over there for an hour of real time. Like it's like you don't want to see your favorite player in college, because that's what the game is built on. Like you get your favorite player. Like if Cooper Flag right now gets 2 fouls in the first half, like I don't want to watch this Duke game anymore.
Do you feel like this next generation, because Wemby is obviously
He's a stud.
He's unbelievable.
He's unbelievable.
But Joker is also 6'11", whatever it is. KD obviously says he's not 7 foot. Feels like he is.
And then he's always taller than everybody at the All-Star weekend. For some odd reason.
But he obviously, whenever he came into the league, and I think Dirk also a big shooter, but like the tall, multifaceted player is the next generation, right?
Yeah, that's their inspiration. Their inspiration is, Dirk. Their inspiration is KD. Their inspiration are those guys who, like, you look at KD, 6'9" to 7 foot, depending on what he wants to tell you. That great handle, the smoothness, to be able to, shoot off the dribble, and also be able to catch and shoot, and be able to look silky smooth out there while being the tallest guy on the court.
But they're doing koozie stuff.
Exactly.
Somehow, I don't know how to do it.
So KD's big time inspiration to guys like Wemby, to guys like Cooper Flag, who's coming in. You have a lot of these guys. So
Chet has
Chet as well.
This Derek Queen kid, 6'10".
Yeah.
6'10". He's in the. I don't know if you heard about him saying, "Give me the motherfucking ball."
Yeah, I'm from Baltimore.
Yeah, that is absolutely
I'm from
fantastic.
Baltimore. One of my best friends from Baltimore, Carmelo Anthony. So I get it. I get it. Give me the damn ball, and he wanted the ball.
That's what I told him in the conversation. I was like, Baltimore's one of the cities where if you give an answer on why are you a confident human, I'm from Baltimore. Everybody's like,
There's no follow-up question to that.
Okay, I got it. The tie has a question for you.
So obviously you could play another 10 years if you really wanted to. I mean, it really does seem like that. But as you've gotten older, I mean, you have all this other shit off the court. You have the production studio, the podcast, all that kind of stuff that you're doing, all these different business ventures. How hard is it focusing on a lot of that stuff and not letting everything you have to do basketball-wise kind of suffer? Because I mean, you don't seem like the kind of guy where it's like you're going to start a production studio and just be like, fuck it, you guys handle everything. I'll attach my name to it. But like, how difficult is that balancing those two? Because this is obviously some stuff that you seem like you're passionate about.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely got some great people in place. My right-hand man, Matt Ricardo, he is unbelievable. He's a dog. And the greatest thing about him is his ability to, relationships that last long. And we've never been just one-off guys. Like, we want to be able to create partnerships, you know, and not like endorsement deals. Like, that was like a thing of the past. That was something that we didn't want to do. So the trust that I have with him, I allow him because of shit I've been knowing him my whole life, you know. And when you have that type of chemistry, you have that type of brotherhood and that type of trust, you allow him to do it. But also, he's always checking in with me, like, hey, listen, this is what we have going down the pipeline, yay or nay. You know, this is why I feel it would be beneficial to us. And but ultimately, like, do you want to do it or not? You know, so like in this instance, like, you know, got to the point where, you know, you brought that up and why I started, you know, the podcast Mind the Game with JJ, you know, last year. It was like, it was a looseness of the sport being covered and how the sport should be covered. It had got away from the essence of the game of basketball, of why I fell in love with the game, why I teach the younger generation the game, why I am in the position, you know, that I am in. And we have that conversation. Me and Matt was, okay, I got what you're saying. Okay, let me go figure it out. And he goes to figure it out. So,
I learned so much from that show. I legitimately did. Now, obviously, looking back on it, it was just you interviewing JJ. Lakers, that entire thing. But I assumed JJ was going to become a head coach after that show, regardless. Because the way you guys talked about it, to your point about never hearing it be discussed like that, legitimately, as a football person, as another sport
That's
person, never played
a weird way to say that
whenever you
too.
guys were drawing up plays,
He says that was you interviewing.
As a football person, as another sport person, never played basketball. Because the way you guys talked about it, to your point about never hearing it be discussed like that, legitimately, as a football person, as another sport person, never played basketball. Back on it, it was just you interviewing JJ.
what you're saying? Okay, let me go figure it out. And he goes to figure it out. So,
I learned so much from that show. I legitimately did. Now, obviously, looking back on it, it was just you interviewing JJ. Lakers, that entire thing. But I assumed JJ was going to become a head coach after that show, regardless. Because the way you guys talked about it, to your point about never hearing it be discussed like that, legitimately, as a football person, as another sport person, never played basketball, whenever you guys were drawing up plays and like why you do this and debating on how to cover and all that, I felt like I got smarter as a basketball fan. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for that, alongside JJ, and also congratulations, season 2, Mind the Game.
Season 2.
Wow, it's back.
I clapped all night, but I'm going to clap on that. Yes, sir. Season 2, man.
With
Steve Nash, man.
okay.
Oh
The
shit.
great Steve Nash, man.
So he's been a coach before, obviously, and obviously he's played a long time in the NBA.
Wow.
I had one chance to interview Steve Nash, and I learned about him in real time. And I think he played like a lot of years.
Yeah, for sure. Legend. MVP.
Listen, whatever years
MVP, yeah.
I looked at him and I said, "You played blank amount of years," and he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Holy shit, man!"
Yeah.
I literally learned it in real time. Legend out there,
Absolutely.
but also loves the game, obsessed with the game, which feels like why it could potentially be a great fit for season 2 of Mind the Game.
No, absolutely. We're looking forward to it, man. We got an episode, 2 episodes in the bank. We're gonna get a couple more soon, and we're gonna just like continue to you know, preach the game. How it's supposed to be taught. You know, how it's supposed to be viewed, and you know, we understand that, you know, some of the other things is gonna be said. It sells for them, but you know, what we've grown to love, why me and JJ did it in the first place, why me and Steve are doing it now, is because this is how we grew up loving the game. This is what brought us together. This is what the essence of the game should be taught to not only the generation that's playing now, but the generation that's going to come up after us. So, Mind the Game season 2 coming on, man.
Can't wait. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can we talk about a couple things real quick that we have to cover?
Absolutely.
Taco Tuesday, you saw that? Is that real?
It's today Tuesday.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That was quite a situation. Barbershop, another one.
Oh, yeah, man, the shop. Oh, yeah. I grew up in it. That was easy. That was another easy one, man. It was like too many conversations that's going on right now. That's not it's not the essence. It's not the essence. Man, I remember getting dropped off as a 5-year-old. Mom dropped you off. She go do what the hell she had to go do.
5.
Errands. She talked to the guy that's cutting here. How many he's behind? About 3 or 4. Okay, about 3 hours. Shit. In about 3 hours. And I gotta wait there and sit there and wait my turn. And in that moment, that's when you hear everything. You start hearing about the best MC that's going on right now, the best hair product, the best beard oil, the best people in sports. You know, your music. It's everything.
Drama.
Everything. Yeah. Every single thing goes on in a barbershop. So, you know, for us to be able to create that platform in the shop, to be able to bring on all the beautiful minds that we've brought onto the shop, men and women, it's been a pleasure, it's been an honor. And we're keeping that thing going, man, because it's like it's a comfort place. I went to the barbershop from when I was like 5 all the way through high school, and you know, to be able
This
to have that
one
sense
shit I
of,
gotta
like,
go right
truth.
here.
It's the one place of truth where you can go out there and be like, this is who I like. All right, that's who you like, and we're gonna fight to the battle about it. You know, and it'll be a new topic the next day. And you know, I think it's pretty cool. So,
Stephen A.
For their football and
that was dope. I mean, you guys know my love for the sport of football.
I need that.
you wouldn't be able to take a shot there, remember? Yeah, 6'9", 250 pounds, wouldn't be able to handle football.
Yeah, man, you know, a lot of, I would be able do a lot of things they say. Oh, I got my little high school highlights up there. First Benedictine. That's where Rich Paul went to high school, by the way. Yeah, I was playing against Rich Paul High School there.
One of the greatest American hustlers of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
Legit, I think the record will state that Rich Paul may be one of the greatest hustlers of all time. You're from Ohio, so obviously football state.
Yeah, man.
Obviously basketball as well.
Yeah.
You love the game. I think you've talked openly about how much you love ball.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Football was my first sport, man, my first love. I grew up big time primetime Deion Sanders fan. Big time Eric Metcalf fan too. Growing up in Akron and seeing him up in Cleveland, seeing Eric Metcalf do his thing up there too, man. Seattle's finest, Eric Metcalf. And just grew up just always loving the sport, man. Like, seeing, Jerry Rice and seeing some of the old clips of like Walter Payton Sweetness and
What makes your
Barry
nose
Sanders,
sweat,
that type
bro?
of conversation in like the barbershop. Barry Sanders versus Emmitt Smith. Oh yeah. So you hear that conversation, so I remember my mom buying me a pair of Barry Sanders sneakers. I was like, oh man,
That felt so quick.
yeah, I felt so quick.
Yeah. Losing the shit.
They was like, I don't know if they was one of the first teams. Obviously, I don't know that for a fact, but like seeing Barry Sanders on turf, wearing sneakers, that was super cool as a kid. So yeah, it's a great sport. I mean, I love it. I love football, and I love the new guys now. Like they're super cool. My favorite guy, Derrick Henry, without a, seeing Saquon like out there, and I got guys like wearing my shoes now. When Saquon did that move where he like turned backwards and did a pirouette backwards and jumped up in the air and like he had my kicks on, I was like, oh my goodness.
I didn't know those. They were sick.
He had the LeBron retro 4s on and a spike when he did that. Like I was
Spin move nasty.
Oh my goodness.
Those are in the bronze.
Yes. Yeah, I was like super I was going crazy. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
That's lit.
So I love it.
Okay, let's talk about something else that we have to address. The Olympics. You saw your eyes blink.
Yeah, I was like super I was going crazy. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
I didn't even know that.
So I love it.
Okay, let's talk about something else that we have to address.
Oh my goodness. He had the LeBron retro 4s on and a spike when he did that. Like
Spin move nasty.
Oh my goodness.
Those are in the bronze.
Yes. Yeah, I was
Didn't know that. I didn't know those were LeBron shoes.
I didn't even know that.
So I love it.
Okay, let's talk about something else that we have to address. The Olympics. You saw your eyes blink sideways. What was that all about? What was that? What the fuck was that? Hey, I need to know what happened. Is that always happen? Your eyes always blink like that, or is that just at the Olympics?
I don't know. That was probably like my Michael Jackson Thriller video moment. When he went from he kind of turned into that beast of his. I don't know, man. I saw that. It kind of freaked me out too.
Yeah, okay.
I missed that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you also saw it and thought the same thing everybody else did. Okay.
Yeah, there was people like, oh my God, he's actually there in Paris and he may be at his home in California at the same time.
This guy's not human.
This guy's not human.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That was a real conversation that was happening.
Oh, yeah.
And I watched it a couple times. I was like, hold on. I'll tell you what.
I mean,
The fucking eyes orange?
I can't sit here and say that it was not real, was not. Just leave it at that. Okay, just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Okay, when you think about the rest of the season and you think about this Lakers team, you guys will have success if what?
Wow. Well, obviously, we go without saying any team, health. Health. That's the most important for our team. We are not in a position where we can afford anybody to go down. And then after that, Luka, myself, and AR-15, we got to be all clicking at the same time. And we know there's going to be games where, it happens throughout the course of a playoff game where I may not be making my shots or whatever, or AR's not making his shots, or Luka might not be making his shots. But as far as when I say clicking, we have to be in tune on what we got to do every single night because we got to make sure everybody's in the right place every single game. The playoffs is literally one possession to have you losing a series. One possession can make you lose a series, and it's up to us three. Obviously, I know my voice and what I command out of guys, that's going to be heard. Luka's play, some people lead by example, and the way AR his affections play, we have to make sure we have everybody in tune, and because we know that our coaching staff going to give us a game plan. JJ's not going to send us out there on a wild goose chase.
You see how important AR Austin
We know
Reeves.
what the hell we need to do in order to get the job done, and it's up to us to go get done.
You guys are a mind again.
Yeah, right.
You guys are a mind again.
Always do.
Fuck. Season 2, Steve.
Season two.
Available soon. Hey, we can't thank you enough for stopping by.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dude. Legitimately. You're
Appreciate
awesome.
you boys over there, man.
I know we're snapping after. I feel like I missed it.
Yeah, when I found out you was a Celtic fan, I thought you would throw a beer on me. Like, what happened?
What is that? Is that what's wrong?
Yeah, after I went for 45 in there, that threw a beer on me.
Yeah, the Eagles, I mean, if you're saying the Eagles, that's not a problem. But I also do have one kind of mythological, whatever the word is, question. You don't read those fucking books before the games, right? All those books. You open it to the first page, and then you don't read those fucking books ever again.
Listen. I actually have finished those books. Hold on.
Like if you were to hold this,
Hold on.
people say you would say you read it.
This is how
That's the only way.
Someone take a photo.
All right, take the photo, please. Got it. Take the photo.
Yeah, we got it. I'll take it from this angle.
Robert Rich's book. The first page.
Holy shit, Ron read it.
And then that's it.
That's it. I didn't even talk to you guys this whole time I was up here. All I did was read the whole book. That's it. That's it.
Everybody might not know that movie, but
It's a classic, by the way. It's a classic.
So you get talk about the books, the music. Music's another thing. Did you see the future of music?
Yeah.
acting.
Acting, yeah, everything.
Who's next in the music world if you had to give a prediction?
Wow.
Yeah, because we've heard you say, when I heard this guy, I knew.
You know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a good question. I literally go to when it comes to like the new generation now. This is the best thing about having teenagers as well. You can literally go to them and get the whole like
the scoop.
Yeah, the scoop. But I don't know, man. I don't know who's next up. But I do love music though, man. But I've definitely been listening to it. I got ready for the game yesterday, listening to Eric B. and Rakim, man. Like I'm an old school guy too, so. But we see.
Music and sports go hand in hand so much.
No, for sure.
And
No question about it.
your knowledge of it has certainly been something that people have chatted about.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And you mind the music as well.
That's right.
And mind the books. Do you mind the game?
Mind the tacos.
Yep.
Tuesdays only on
Mind the movies.
Yeah, mind the
As
movie.
long as they don't take away my mind the cookies, we'll be fine.
That rallies. The Heatles are done.
Still love it. We got the last
The Heatles are done. This guy doesn't have any fucking cookies.
It's over.
It's over.
Still got Spo. We still got. We good. I don't know. People are saying the D-Wade Kerr statue is now carried on forever.
It's a bad statue.
I haven't seen it yet. Oh, in person.
You know, one.
I've seen it. I've seen it on. Yeah. I love my guy.
Hey, when you get your statue done, just let's make sure it's a good one.
I'm not gonna mail it to the world.
What do you mean?
Got to.
That's what a fucking statue is.
No, fuck that. No.
You're gonna put it in your bed?
If I need to see it multiple times.
You know, before we let it out.
Yes.
Because if not, that'll happen.
Yeah. What the hell? I mean, Wade saw his. He said
He said he saw it. He liked it.
Yeah, but I think he was just sticking up for the person.
Yeah, him and his son. Expression.
Good teammate.
Like they didn't like it.
Yeah, he's a good
I
teammate.
remember that movie.
Yeah, when he stood on the table. Well, actually, yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah.
All right, LeBron, we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, we're clapping. All right.
I'm clapping for y'all.
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
clapping for y'all, man.
Paul and Jake. Hold on.
I'm clapping for y'all, man. I'm clapping for y'all, man.
Yeah, we're snapping.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Now I just need the whole what started this shit. It's July.
In the aftermath of that interview, what does he do? He puts out some page about me, boxing and all of this other stuff from a decade ago with 2 torn rotator cuffs. Fine, no problem. It's very, very embarrassing video. I'll be the first to say and all that stuff, even though I like it to be left up there. Because if people think I want to throw hands like that, that's how I throw hands. Knock yourself out. I'm good with it. I know that the man I am today is not the man that I was a decade ago, physically or beyond. I can tell you that. So we get that out the way. Why do I bring that up? Because that's how petty you've become. You're LeBron James. You're that butthurt over the things that I'm saying, that you would post that video. When does LeBron James ever done something like that? But suddenly you're doing that as it pertains to me. This man is in his feelings. I wonder why. Could it be because I don't believe you're the GOAT? Because I'll never believe you're the GOAT? Because I have you number 2 at all times? Do I have to have ESPN and First Take put up the ticker tape right now and say, yo, could you put that up there, please? Great father, great husband, great philanthropist, great businessman, great director, great producer, great host, great basketball player, great leader. I mean, my God, I have done everything but put diapers and a bib on this brother. But it ain't enough. Because one thing matters to him and one thing only, and that's him being recognized as the greatest of all times. Well, you're not in my book. That belongs to Michael Jordan. In the aftermath,
I want to find the. Did he post this?
that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him.
Okay.
Immediately.
This one. This one I need to see.
That man put his hands on me, I would have
That's the part. Okay, I was looking for that.
immediately.
I was looking for that. And is there anything else? Those are clips I gotta put together. Does that show everything?
That man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately.
Yeah.
That man put his hands on me, I would.
Okay. Does this deserve? Hell nah. Hell nah. We got the back row. We're gonna run through this shit. All right. I put these clips together. Oh, I gotta find the one about the father. That comment.
So LeBron James decides who really, outside of his crew, doesn't really have any friends in the media. Suddenly, he's going to be in Indianapolis, driving into the country and go and do a show that comes on immediately after First Take. Clearly, they were looking at it and they used the Steve Nash, the upcoming Mind Your Game podcast with Steve Nash to disguise what his real agenda was, which was to address me. Because he continues to lie to the world about what I said and who I was pointing the finger at. To regurgitate an obvious point, when I talked about Bronny James early in the season and I highlighted the fact that at that particular moment in time, he simply was not ready, I was calling out LeBron James. LeBron James never addresses that with anybody. And for some reason, no one ever asked him about that. Wasn't it you who said that Bronny James was better than...
So I'm going to address the Stephen A. Smith situation real quick. I basically told him we can throw down right now in front of everyone. Let's have at it.
What?
You one-on-one in the middle of the court. And of course, that uncle refused. He don't have that aura like I do. I'm him. I was about to give him that Draymond Green special and send his hairline back even further. So I'm going to address the Stephen A.
This shit gotta be fake. This shit look real as hell. Hey, this one gotta be fake.
So I'm going to address the Stephen A. Smith situation real quick. I basically told him we can throw down right now in front of everyone. Let's have at it. Me and you, one-on-one in the middle of the court. And of course, that uncle refused. He don't have that aura like I do. I'm him. I was about to give him that Draymond Green special and send his hairline back even further. So
Hey, yo.
that's the Stephen A. Smith situation.
Hey, yo.
I basically told him we can throw down right now in front of everyone. Let's have at it. Me and you, one-on-one in the middle of the court. And of course, that uncle refused. He don't have that aura like I do.
Hey, yo. That shit funny as fuck. Okay. There's this. Now, one more. Stop this.
So JJ trying some things out there, Stephen A. in Philadelphia, giving Bronny first quarter playing time. Why the face or the hand or the everything that's happening?
I'm really, really trying to be as respectful as I possibly can be towards LeBron James. I am pleading with LeBron James as a father.
This one.
Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong. As you hone your skills and you get better and you legitimately earn, which I believe he has the potential to do, I am rooting for Bronny James.
So JJ trying some things out there, Stephen A. in Philadelphia, giving Bronny first quarter playing time. Why the face or the hand or the everything that's happening?
I'm really, really trying to be as respectful as I possibly can be towards LeBron James. I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this.
That was the one I needed to see.
Stop this.
The original. Stop this. Okay, now we gotta get all those clips. Is this what I want to wear for my video? Now we had a couple hats. If I can find them. Also, damn, for this hat to be right here, bro. Like, I found that shit randomly. See if I can find this hat real quick. Bailey has been awesome right now. Bailey, you are awesome. Okay. Bailey deserves some whipped cream. If I can find it. If I can find this shit. Bro, I don't know if I need like a foot massage or something, bro. Oh, this is the peanut butter. At least I found the fucking peanut butter. We can give Bailey some fucking peanut butter. Want some peanut butter, babe? Want some peanut butter? Shari, look at her lips. We have a spoon for that. Baby don't like shit on her paws. Now all I gotta do is find this fucking the hats. Should be content for a little while. Oh, I gotta do this right before the phone needs to be charged again, though. So. Should be occupied for a while. Let me see. Oh, LeBron actually posted this on his page. That's the crazy part. LeBron posted this on his page. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
All right, this is the hat I was thinking about wearing. Now, if I'm thinking about wearing this hat, it don't necessarily go with this shirt. So, I think that's why I'm gonna wear it anyway too. Cause it don't match. I'm gonna wear it cause it don't match. It be the little shit that nobody care about. But then they ain't not caring about it. Like the peanut butter? I don't think I'm gonna need 3 bowls. I don't think. Or 4 for this video. Let me see. But I think I'm gonna do some pina colada. Shit, we gotta do this shit fast. But actually, you know, I can just cut the fucking car. It's just like, maybe shit like that. I gotta get, it's too fucking hot, man. It's too fucking hot for this shit. Let's do pina colada. And this time, what I'm gonna do, damn, bro, it's just, it's the fact that there's not a lot, bro. Should be fucking me up. This is just a couple bowls, bro. Damn. Pina colada. Okay, let's do it like this. Probably need also, anything else I gotta put out? I can do clip by clip. You can clip